Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation. Today we're going to explore the English pronunciation guide. I'm excited to have you here. This first slide introduces our topic and sets the stage for what's to come. Over the course of this presentation, we'll cover key pronunciation tips, common challenges, and helpful techniques to improve your English speaking skills. Let's get started. Let's take a quick look at the contents of today's presentation. We'll start with pronunciation, which is fundamental for clear communication. Then, we'll explore the International Phonetic Alphabet, a key tool for understanding how sounds are produced and transcribed. Moving on, we'll dive into the phonetic chart to visualize these sounds and see how vowels and consonants are organized. We'll also discuss diphthongs, which are unique sounds formed by combining vowels. To make things practical, there will be an activity to apply what we've learned, followed by tips to improve your pronunciation skills. We'll look at online tools that can support your learning journey, and we'll cover phonetic transcription, which helps in accurately representing spoken words. Additionally, we'll explore tongue twisters as a fun way to practice sounds and conclude with a home assignment to reinforce your understanding. Throughout the presentation, our goal is to give you a comprehensive understanding of phonetics and pronunciation, so you can communicate more effectively and confidently. Let's talk about pronunciation, which is basically how we produce the sounds of speech. In many languages, each letter usually corresponds to just one sound, making words easier to pronounce once you know the spelling. But English is a bit more complicated. When you look at an English word, the way the letters are pronounced can vary a lot. For example, take the letter C in the word cup. It sounds like K, but in place, it's silent or behaves differently. Also, when C is next to H, it often sounds like CH, as in chocolate. However, in ache, it's pronounced as a K again. There are many strategies to improve pronunciation, but one of the most helpful tools for English learners is the International Phonetic Alphabet. It provides a consistent way to practice and understand pronunciation, especially when we're focusing on British English. So, mastering these concepts can really help you sound more natural and confident. Let's talk about the International Phonetic Alphabet, or IPA. In the IPA, every sound in English has its own unique symbol. This means that when you see a symbol, you know exactly how to pronounce the word. For example, words like though, thought, and cough all use different sounds. Even though they share the same letter combination OUGH, the IPA helps clarify these differences, making pronunciation much easier to understand. At first, these symbols might seem a little intimidating or scary, but they are incredibly helpful when learning English pronunciation. They tell you precisely how to say each word, removing confusion. Now, in terms of the alphabet, English has 26 letters, but the sounds we make aren't limited to just those letters. There are actually 44 distinct sounds in English, and with a few additional sounds added, we now recognize 47 different sounds. Understanding the IPA and these sounds is a key part of mastering pronunciation, which is essential for clear communication and confidence in speaking English. This connects directly to our overall goal of helping you speak more naturally and accurately. Let's take a closer look at the phonetic chart. This chart is a visual representation of the different sounds, or phonemes, that make up speech. It helps us understand how sounds are organized and related to each other, which is essential for mastering pronunciation. The chart typically categorizes sounds into consonants and vowels, and within those groups, it shows how they are produced in the mouth. By studying this chart, we can see patterns and connections between sounds, making it easier to learn new words and improve our clarity. Overall, the phonetic chart is a valuable tool that ties directly into our goal of better pronunciation and effective communication. Let's talk about vowels. There are 5 main vowels in English: a, e, I, o, u, but what's interesting is that, in fact, there are 12 different vowel sounds. Some of these sounds are long and some are short, which adds richness and variety to how words are pronounced. Vowel sounds tend to come smoothly from the mouth, creating what we call smooth sounds. For example, the small cap I sound, like in pin or English, or the reversed open lengthened sound, as in word or heard. Then there are longer vowel sounds, such as slash small cap high lengthened slash in C or B, and slash open ah lengthened slash in words like or, board, or door. We also have as in look, put, or could, and slash ae slash in cat or bag. The slash u lengthened slash sound appears in blue and fool, while slash turned v slash is in cut and come. Moving on, the e sound is in bed and head, and slash letter 251 lengthened slash as in car or art. Finally, there's the slash schwa slash sound, which is very common in unstressed words like the, or woman, and the slash turned alpha slash sound found in clock and what. Understanding these vowel sounds is fundamental because they help us pronounce words clearly and accurately, which connects directly to the overall theme of mastering pronunciation in English. Now, let's talk about diphthongs, which are a special group of vowel sounds. These sounds are interesting because they change from one vowel sound to another within the same syllable. For example, when you say here, the slash small cap I schwa slash diphthong starts with a sound similar to E and then glides into a schwa. Another example is 5 or height, where the slash letter 251 small cap I slash diphthong moves from an I sound to an I sound. Similarly, in words like take or wait, the slash E small cap I slash diphthong starts with an E and moves toward a glide into an I. There's also the slash letter 288 schwa slash sound, as in pour or ensure, which begins with a U sound and shifts into a schwa. The slash E slash diphthong appears in words like care or air, starting with an E sound and gliding into a schwa as well. Then we have the slash open ah small cap I slash diphthong, as in noise or boy, where the sound begins with an O and moves into an I. The slash schwa letter 288 slash diphthong, like in know or road, starts with a schwa and moves into a long O sound. Finally, there's the slash letter 251 letter 288 slash diphthong, as in round or doubt, which starts with an I sound and glides into a U sound. The key point here is that diphthongs are all about movement. These sounds are not static, but involve a glide from one vowel to another within the same syllable. Recognizing these can really help improve your pronunciation and listening skills, especially because they are quite common in English speech. Now let's talk about consonants. The top row of consonants are unvoiced, which means that the sound is produced by air moving from the back of your mouth, through and out your lips. There's also one extra unvoiced letter at the bottom. Remember, unvoiced sounds only use air. You don't feel any vibration in your vocal cords when you make these sounds. Most of the other consonants are voiced, meaning they are made with the vibration of your vocal cords. When producing consonant sounds, the general process involves first blocking the airflow in some way, and then releasing it. For example, for the B sound, as in bad or baby, your lips come together to block the air, and then release it. Similarly, for D as in day or bed, your tongue blocks the mouth briefly before releasing the airflow. Some sounds, like slash theta slash as in method or both, involve the tongue and teeth. Others, like slash esh slash as in shell or machine, require a gentle, hissing sound produced by a particular tongue and lip position. It's also interesting to note the variety of sounds, such as N for can or pneumonia, which are nasal, or G for shell or machine, which are voiced and produced at the back of the mouth. Understanding how these sounds are formed, whether voiced or unvoiced, where the airflow is blocked or released, helps us grasp the foundation of pronunciation in English. This knowledge is essential as we move toward clearer, more accurate speech. All right, now let's move on to an activity that really tests your listening skills. On this slide, you'll see a list of words grouped into 3 sets. Your task is to circle the word in each set that is pronounced differently from the other 3. For example, in the first group, accident, access, accommodate, accept, you want to pay close attention to the pronunciation of each word. The goal is to identify the one that sounds different. Next, in the second group, suit, fruit, cruise, biscuit, you'll do the same. Notice the vowel sounds and how they differ across these words. And finally, in the third group, author, caught, laughter, daughter, think about the way these words are spoken, especially focusing on the vowels and consonants. This activity helps us understand pronunciation variations, which is essential for improving both our listening and speaking skills. Remember, the key is to listen carefully and identify the odd one out based on pronunciation, not spelling. Let's give it a try. Let's take a closer look at phonetic transcription, which is also known as phonetic script or notation. Essentially, it's a way to visually represent speech sounds or phones to show exactly how words are pronounced. The most common system used for this is the International Phonetic Alphabet, or IPA. For example, the word clean is transcribed as /cly, and notice how each symbol corresponds to a specific sound. In this case, there are 4 sounds involved. First, we have the K sound, which is an unvoiced consonant, meaning your vocal cords don't vibrate when you make this sound. Next is the /I/, which is a vowel sound, and the elongated nature is indicated by the colon. Then, we have the L sound, which is a voiced consonant. Your vocal cords vibrate here. Finally, the N sound, another voiced consonant. Understanding phonetic transcription is really important because it helps us see the precise pronunciation of words, which is especially useful in language learning, linguistics, or speech therapy. Connecting this back to our overall theme, it's all about making speech and pronunciation clearer and more accessible. So, by mastering phonetic transcription, we're better equipped to analyze, teach, and learn languages with accuracy and confidence. Let's talk about some helpful tips for learning phonetic pronunciation. Standard dictionaries typically use the IPA, or International Phonetic Alphabet, to show how words are pronounced. When you're just starting out with phonetic writing, it can be easier to practice with regular English spelling rather than jumping straight into the more complex IPA symbols. The symbols in the IPA are based on more intricate characters, which might be confusing at first. A good way to get familiar with phonetic spelling is to look at the words in a dictionary and see how they are represented. Try copying the phonetic spelling of your favorite words and pay attention to how each one is written. Then, practice saying those words out loud based on their phonetic spelling. Remember, the goal here is to focus on the sound of the words, not just how they are spelled. This approach helps you develop a better ear for pronunciation, which is essential for mastering any language skill. Connecting these tips to our overall goal, they're about building confidence and accuracy in pronunciation by starting simple and gradually becoming more familiar with the symbols and sounds. Now, let's talk about online tools that can really help us improve pronunciation. One great option is using an online translator, which allows you to input a word and hear how it's pronounced, helping you understand the correct phonetics. This can be especially useful when you're learning new words or trying to perfect your accent. Additionally, there are apps available for both Android and iPhone that you can download. These apps often come with features like audio pronunciation, practice exercises, and even voice recognition to give you immediate feedback. The key takeaway here is that technology offers accessible and convenient resources to support your language learning journey. Incorporating these tools into your study routine can make practicing more interactive and effective, keeping you motivated and on track to improve your pronunciation skills. Let's talk about tongue twisters. These are short phrases or even short stories that focus on repeating problem sounds or similar groups of sounds. The idea is to say them quickly, which makes it quite challenging to pronounce them correctly. The great thing about practicing tongue twisters is that they really help improve your pronunciation. They force you to pay close attention to how you move your mouth and tongue. Additionally, regularly working with tongue twisters can boost your ability to speak more fluently. When you practice these tricky phrases, you're training your mouth muscles to work more smoothly and efficiently. This is a fun yet effective way to strengthen your overall speaking skills, which ties back to our goal of becoming more confident and clear communicators. All right, for your home assignment, I want you to try something fun and educational. Think about your name, and then see if you can write it out using the phonetic alphabet. This exercise helps you understand how words are spelled out clearly, especially in situations like calls or emergencies. It's a great way to improve your pronunciation and communication skills. Remember, the key here is to focus on accuracy and clarity, making sure each sound of your name is represented correctly. This ties back to our overall theme of effective communication, showing how understanding phonetics can be a powerful tool in everyday interactions. So, take your time, practice, and have fun with it.